Chimaev is going to get him to the ground. If he doesn't finish him there, I don't think he wins. That's just how I feel. I think if you can't get Dricus out in the first, which Chimaev can do, his first round finishes is his thing, right? But if he doesn't get him out of there, I think Dricus looks good, looks very promising. He's a guy that if you don't get rid of, he kind of wins.
Robert Whittaker issues a stark warning about the upcoming title fight between Dricus du Plessis and Khamzat Chimaev at UFC 319. Plus, we'll dive into Whittaker's own comeback story and the heated predictions surrounding one of the year's biggest fights. Let's get started. Our top story tonight comes from Robert Whittaker, who has faced both fighters in the upcoming UFC 319 main event. The former champion didn't mince words when breaking down the August 17th title clash between Dricus du Plessis and Khamzat Chimaev.
Your opinion on the championship fight that's happening in August, Dricus versus Khamzat. What do you think is going to happen, and who do you think is going to get their hands raised in middleweight?
It's tricky. I think the favourite would have to be Dricus, just because, I think the favourite would have to be Dricus. The only things I can really say with any sort of certainty is that Chimaev will get Dricus to the mat. But if Chimaev doesn't finish Dricus there, I find it hard for him to win. I think the longer the fight goes, Dricus is more favourable. Chimaev has outstanding first-round finishes, but every fight that's gone the distance has been close.
Speaking at his press conference ahead of his own fight against Reinier de Ridder, Whittaker delivered a crystal-clear prediction that has the MMA world talking. Chimaev is going to get DDP to the ground. If he doesn't finish him there, I don't think he wins.
If we come back to the fight against Khamzat, you said it before that your problems with the teeth started way before the fight. So the reason why the jaw cracked was because it was on a badly hurt jaw before. What do you think if he locked the same type of move on somebody who didn't have those jaw problems like yourself? Would he crack that jaw as well?
It wasn't the jaw, it was the teeth that got moved. My jaw was fine. Honestly, though, I shouldn't have been in that position to begin with. It's not a strong position to be in. But who knows? Maybe we'll find out in a few weeks.
This isn't just casual commentary, folks. Whittaker has been in the cage with both men. He suffered a devastating first-round submission loss to Chimaev last October and fell to du Plessis in a shocking upset back in July 2023. Whittaker elaborated on his prediction, stating that while du Plessis should be the favorite, the key factor will be Chimaev's ability to secure an early finish. He pointed to Chimaev's pattern of explosive first-round victories, but noted that when fights go the distance, they tend to be competitive affairs, referencing Chimaev's close decisions against Kamaru Usman and Gilbert Burns.
Du Plessis versus Khamzat Chimaev. How do you feel about this fight?
Everybody know I used to work with Khamzat. I love the guy. After COVID, it really messed him up. One of the craziest things I ever seen. Throwing up like blood. As far as I know now, he's in Russia. He's in camp. He's focused. He's a superstar. He's one of the biggest stars in the UFC. When you have this kind of pressure, sometimes people doesn't know how to handle it. It's hard to bet against focused Khamzat, healthy Khamzat. I think he can beat anyone on any given day. As talent, as technique, it's Khamzat. If you go to the third and fourth and fifth round, how this fight gonna go? I believe Khamzat can go there, did to him what he did to Robert Whittaker. 100%, I believe this.
The message is clear. If Chimaev can't put du Plessis away early, the champion's durability and conditioning could prove decisive in the later rounds. Before we dive deeper into UFC 319, let's talk about Whittaker's incredible journey back from one of the most gruesome injuries we've seen in recent memory. The damage from his fight with Chimaev was severe, a broken jaw and 3 shattered teeth from Chimaev's crushing submission hold. But in a heartwarming display of support, UFC CEO Dana White stepped in to help cover the cost of Whittaker's dental implants. My teeth, they're better than before, better looking even. Uncle Dana paid for the implants. It was a work injury, Whittaker revealed with his characteristic humor. The recovery process wasn't quick or easy. It took several months for Whittaker to fully heal, with the implants needing time to set and settle properly. But true to his Reaper nickname, Whittaker has bounced back stronger than ever. Now at 34, Whittaker faces Reinier de Ridder this Saturday at UFC Abu Dhabi in what he sees as part of his final championship push. The stakes couldn't be higher for the Australian legend. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. I understand it is my last big push, the last sprint, last 100 meters of the race, Whittaker stated, adding that his dream scenario would be sailing off into the sunset as the champ. Now, let's turn our attention to what many are calling the biggest fight in the UFC. The middleweight title showdown between Dricus du Plessis and Khamzat Chimaev at UFC 319 on August 16th in Chicago. Du Plessis enters this fight on an incredible 11-fight win streak dating back to 2018. He's proven himself against elite competition with victories over Sean Strickland twice, Israel Adesanya, and of course, Robert Whittaker. The South African champion has established himself as one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world.
You gotta sometimes really just hit the ground so you can bounce back up. I've done it like many times, multiple times in my career. It's like a game to me almost. It sucks when it happens, but I just know I'll climb back up, and I always do. So it's a fun sport I like to play, which is claw from the bottom right back to the top. Yeah, we did some things. We had some people in the camp that know how to, even weirder than him, fight like awkward, but again, people just underestimate him and his awkwardness. But you just have to respect it. Like you respect anyone going there and fight, you just have to respect the skill, and I do. Well, I think toughness only lasts you so long. Still got much more to go because I fight smart. Yeah, he's just tough and he uses it to his advantage, and he's got a strong spirit. I think he's just got a strong spirit about him that he's able to push through pain. So can I. I can push through when I have to, but I don't always have to because I'm very skilled at what I do.
But Chimaev represents perhaps his greatest challenge yet. The undefeated Chechen-Swedish fighter brings a perfect 14-0 record into this bout, with finishes in all but 2 of his victories. His recent demolition of Whittaker proved he belongs at the elite level of the middleweight division. The predictions are flying in from all corners of the MMA world. UFC middleweight Shara Magomedov made perhaps the boldest prediction of all, suggesting fans should prepare 2 seconds of silence for Du Plessis after the fight, clearly backing Chimaev for a quick finish.
Very soon there's going to be a championship fight between Dricus du Plessis and Khamzat Chimaev for the middleweight title. How do you think the fight will play out, and who do you think was going to get his hand raised? As I said before, Dricus is in very good, strong hands in this fight, and we will make sure to remember his name with 2 seconds of silence afterwards.
But not everyone is counting out the champion. Many analysts point to du Plessis' incredible durability, his unorthodox striking style, and his championship experience as factors that could prove decisive if the fight enters the later rounds. The implications of this fight extend far beyond just the middleweight title. For du Plessis, a victory over the undefeated Chimaev would cement his status among the all-time great middleweights and silence any remaining doubters about his championship credentials. For Chimaev, this represents the culmination of years of hype and the chance to finally capture UFC gold. A victory would validate all the predictions about his championship potential and set up massive super fights down the line. Meanwhile, fighters like Robert Whittaker and Peter Yan are positioning themselves for their own title shots, with Whittaker admitting he'd love another crack at du Plessis to correct what he sees as his most disappointing loss. The bantamweight division is also heating up, with Merab Dvalishvili set to defend his title against Corey Sandhagen at UFC 320, while Peter Yan quietly builds his case for another title shot. There you have it, fight fans. Robert Whittaker's stark warning for UFC 319, his inspiring comeback story, and all the latest developments leading up to one of the year's biggest fights. Will Chimaev's ground game prove too much for du Plessis? Or will the champion's durability and experience carry him through? We'll find out on August 16th when these two warriors collide in Chicago. Don't forget to catch Whittaker's return against Reinier de Ridder this Saturday at UFC Abu Dhabi. That's all from UFC Central tonight. Keep training, keep watching, and we'll see you next time.